Okay, this is a narration of the sequel to Game of Thrones, the motion picture, A New Revelation. In this one, titled Game of Thrones 2, Khaleesi's Dragon Spirit. Okay, we're still talking about the same person because Daenerys Stormborn of the House of Targaryen is known by quite a few names. If you remember correctly, during the original Game of Thrones series, she freed slaves known as the Misha, leading Mother, as explained by her handmaiden, who she also set free, Masandi, who is acted by Natalie Manuel. And so then there's the fact that Khaleesi is actually another name for queen, as by her first and foremost husband, Drogo, whom she was pregnant with a child by, until we all know about the treacheries of Sorceress, who was a slave to the Dothraki. And while she did not like slavery, she trusted the sorceress to heal her husband, Drogo, because the sorceress said, yes, I can, do these things and make him live again. And she trusted her, which is why the Game of Thrones, The Missing Link, Lost Page of Time came in, because the fact that she felt betrayed because Drogo was like a zombie of some sort, slobbering, probably not in his normal state for a Dothraki. So she never again trusted sorceresses, and while the sorceress claimed that she wasn't going to scream, she pretty much reaffirmed, yeah, she will, but it's not what I want. I'm taking your life because you didn't deliver what you promised, is basically what she's saying. And so, while holding the title of Khaleesi before she got the one known as Misha, she also gained the title when she tried to commit suicide by um, going to the spirit world with her husband um, with these 3 dragon eggs. Well, she was found naked and dirty by her first trusted advisor. Um, and the eggs, of course, hatched, and now she's known as the Mother of Dragons because she was born of fire. So, in all, she is one that, is to be revered and respected. Now, for those of you who are Game of Thrones fans, in as much as I am honoring the original author George R.R. Martin with my skill set, thanks to Emilia Clarke, who awoken this talent I didn't think I even had, and it's like, wow, this is like so awesome. I have a lot of good ratings about the motion picture. It's like, the strange things this human does, and it's not like any man of her world. I mean, if you could think about it, and technically, without calling it a deja vu type situation, the men of her world are like people of London, I guess, because I actually are, but mostly London actors and actresses. And here's this stranger who can't get back to his world once he finally gets to hers. And because the visionary said, yeah, this one here, you're going to want to treat him nice, you're going to want to keep him around, because he's going to deliver things to you that you never had before, do things and give you experiences you never had before. And she's very intrigued about that. So, people might think, well, okay, now the glitter and gold, the oohs and ahs are over from the motion picture. No. And that's far from the truth. There's still certain things that William, now known as William Bruce Targaryen, because she adopted his heraldry, because that was one of her worries, is the usual trend is if, like, someone of royalty marries another person of royalty, well, guess what? It's the king that sits on the throne, not the other way around, and the queen follows in his stead. But because her destiny is to have the throne, the roles are reversed. And she likes this, so she adopts the heraldry, because he says, I can't, I'm not allowed by my heraldry, which I respect, even though I'm from this dark blue star from the Valerian night sky of Earth, to have the throne. So it's because of that heraldry she not only accepts him as a suitor, but accepts his proposal and many showering of gifts, which is a human custom. So he gets to follow in her stead. And this is something that quite delights her. So at the end of the motion picture, they completed two world's portraits to compare the worlds they're from, And even though his don't have as many planets as hers, it's to her is still something special. He is still that treasure that she's never had before, more valuable than gold, silver, or whatever it is she has at the Pyramid Palace. Of course, now it's never covered, but William forgoes the practice of making memoirs. That's like a lady's version of a diary, but he uses a device which is alien to her world just as much as the human becomes the alien. And it's no longer needed because he sends off what he calls the Dragon Chariot, which was a homemade rocket system, to send his final farewells to that of Earth that he knows he'll never get back. And rather than die in loneliness, he has now much of the love for this mother dragon that she does for him, this low in stature human that puts her in such sensual, riveting moments that it's like he's now this drug, and she loves the way she can just pin him down and have her way with him. It's like, wow. I mean, probably every guy's ever dreamed about that, Yeah, how often has a guy had a woman ravage, So for a queen, she gets to do pretty much what she likes with this guy because he will obey any command she gives, and she likes this. Of course, before he teaches her how to paint, which to her is kind of like not quite common, but, because it's a human thing, and he tells her, well, in my world, this is something that we do as a favorite pastime, although there are many. She allows him to teach her how to paint. So she gets to paint based on what he's read in her palace books about the Wanderers, what the colors of plants are. And there's no guarantee the plants are those colors, but, it kind of is something that she kind of finds intriguing. Eventually, which you won't hear, or you may, somebody may ask her, hey, there was a strange light that left from beyond the horizon of trees into the heavens, and as promised, she kind of halts that inquiry by changing the subject, and as she said, she's not trying to lie to people, but she kind of like uses a far-fetched theory. Well, maybe one of the dragons or my large dragon, maybe it saw something, blew fire on whatever it is was chasing after and burned the ground, but it quickly changes, no longer becomes the investigative subject. So that pretty much covers what the prologue would have. There is something else now as we get into Chapter 1, Planning for Class Lessons and Human Custom, Honeymoon. Now remember, she has like the human custom of called the engagement ring, and she, because it's being a historical wedding, allowed the blending of the two customs, because this is a historical moment. Nowhere in all of Targaryen history has there ever been an actual human that ended up in her world. And as I had mentioned in a special presentation to Emilia Clarke and original author and creator George R.R. Martin, You take the word illegal alien, meaning you didn't go through proper channels to emigrate to one's country, so they call you an illegal alien. But if you remove the word illegal and look at the word alien, it means not of this world, something extraterrestrial. And so that was what I was trying to pose to the viewers, is that what if the human became the alien? Well, that would make sense because he's not of their world, extraterrestrial. The mere fact that throughout the original Game of Thrones series, the word human this, human that, this would be inhuman. Or they try to um, symbolically impose upon themselves that they are the humans, when no, they are what we would call humanoid, meaning they look like human, but no one knows the actual inside anatomy of a Targaryen or the seven known kingdoms. A good theory to guess would be that while an actual human has their liver on the right side and they have two kidneys, who's to say that the liver's on the left side? Or the appendix might be on the right side, but in her world, appendix is on the left side. No one really knows because they don't have such things like Earth does, like surgeons and hospitals and ambulances. They don't have anything like that because, again, no one can prove that all worlds other than planet Earth are more advanced. There could be some that are actually behind the times, and this is kind of what it is for Daenerys' world. You know, Earth had its dark ages. William's stuck in her world, and this would be considered her dark ages because the men who served her in forces, like Unsullied warriors and knights, are still wearing a type of armor. So, while Earth and this human is a little more advanced than she is, her ruling still is firm, and it's final, whatever she decides. And then on top of that, they don't have the clothing that was strange to her when he came to her world. So he's like, it's almost like he stepped back in time, but not like a parallel universe. He's at a world that's 3 to 5 times bigger than hers. And he pretty much guesses this, because of the way things are, the heaviness on his chest. But now that too is starting to dissipate, because again, though it's never very outspoken, at least not yet, until he goes through something that will be coming up, and this is not to spoil it for you, or as they call it, spoiler. When he goes through the Veil of Passing, it's because he's been on her world now so long. He's eaten her food, drank their water, which probably tastes different than Earth. It might taste like sweet water, or something. It will eventually affect the human DNA to where now it's like fountain of youth. A human can live up to, if you're really, really lucky, and that's very rare, you could be 100 years of age. For Daenerys, she could live up to be 230 years of age and look like she's only 30, 31 years old. Other parts of the kingdoms, you have people that actually show gray hair and look old, but for Targaryens, who are split off descendants through, again, because it was commonplace for brothers to marry sisters, what have you. For her, it is not just so much the commonplace thing of keeping the bloodline pure, as is also the fact that if done enough times through the generations of her world, and she will mention this eventually to William, that rather than show old age, it is called the spirit flame, which again, symbolism is everything. So if her spirit flame goes out, she won't look like an old lady with wrinkles or white hair. She'll just merely maybe go to sleep and never wake up. In which case then she goes to the spirit world, which is like their version of heaven, paradise, and she'll be reunited with Drogo, and the one that was stillborn, although growing up nicely, and with Drogo in the spirit world. And so that's pretty much how things are going to happen for William. He's not going to be the same person. I mean, he'll still be human, but his longevity is going to increase. And come to a surprise, he's not going to show too much of an age, and he get a little older, but not by much. And she doesn't care about that because she says, even though you're human and you don't have the same spiritual thing, and again, this is looking ahead, that her Drogo and maybe eventually you'll learn about later, Viserys does come back to the picture, but as a spirit, and it'll be coming up in the sequel movie called Dance of the Dragons and Demons. They'll grab his spirit as it goes through this tunnel of light. So instead of going at the end of the lighted tunnel, it's like pulling him through the wall of this tunnel, and now he's in her spirit world. And every woman fantasizes, I'm sure, at one time, oh wow, what would it be like to make love with two guys? But they don't ever show that, but that's like her paradise. She'll have Drogo and she'll have William, and they both make love to her at the same time. Wow, what type of heaven for that? I was kind of nervous about that because that would be kind of strange, but that would be the Targaryen heaven that she dreams about, because that's something to look forward to. In the meantime, she's going to do what she can, be a good queen, and never make mistakes like she did when she invaded King's Landing the very first time with the savage race Dothraki. So William gets class lessons, and he has to learn all these things now, how to blend into our world. The laws, the custom, proper etiquette, even so much as the gods that they worship, it's like, okay, if you're in her world and you're the only human, though you might consider it sinful, sometimes you might have to do what they do not to offend somebody else. So she worships the gods of fire and ice, which is the Targaryen gods, as opposed to the seven gods of the seven who have hounded, hunted down, and persecuted Targaryens because of their religious beliefs of no modesty, no shame in the world, something else she's trying to break William from. So you try to do what they do to keep people happy, at least you're trying, you're putting effort in it. She also teaches them royal table mannerisms because at first, when he first came to her world, it wasn't too much of a issue, you have 3 forks to the left and 2 or 3 spoons to the right, and it wasn't too much like she needed to guide him which one to use. But now that he sent his farewells off, she finally decides, okay, you need to learn table manners. Not that you don't have any, but this is the way we eat here at the table. So she gets to be the instructor now for this one-time lesson. And so that becomes the first lesson before the honeymoon. The other lessons won't come until after she's experienced this human custom called the honeymoon. Now, she also takes delight in planning for the honeymoon, because while normally somebody might take 2 weeks to a month of human Earth time, which is about 30 days, in her world, because the days are longer and everything, she has to look at it from her standpoint, because she didn't get to have the life, the lavish life, like most teenagers in her world, or who knows, maybe even if she only heard myths and legends about humans, they probably, have their pastimes, things like that, but, being a royalty, she didn't get to have that type of lavish life. So, she gently just lets William know, don't think I could do that. I've got queenly duties to do, but she still wants to try this out. So she says, okay, yeah, we can do this for 4 days. Eventually, she might actually have to postpone it because of a late invitation, which is lucky for William. Okay, so that makes it 5 days, but that don't happen until like a chapter or 2 down the road. And so she makes the plans, what to pack. The Sandy helps pack this trunk that they got as a gift way back when, during the reception after the historical marriage. Now, there's going to come a time, again, poor dumb human. You'd think the things he does would be over, right? Okay, because again, he's not making any of these notes to send off as a farewell in this device he has. If you're right, they put the bag and made a pact never to mention the thing that was used to send this farewell dragon chariot or as human William knows it, a homemade rocket. And so he pulls out the larger one for, I don't know, something that they can listen to the notes he made and what have you, in the privacy of her chambers. But he also has the handheld one that also comes out of it for playing music. And so here you have a funny situation. Okay, Daenerys is trying to plan William's future because he's important to her. He's got a key role to play. And so while trying to talk to these knights, looking at the map in her meeting room and how William's going to be training certain people that meet a certain age requirement and what have you that she had freed, William brings up a song that's a bit erotic in behavior. And William doesn't know it because certain ladies of the palace, including Missandei, kind of come upon this. And this is like not something any man in her world would do. Obviously, he's given by Daenerys instructions the area where he's supposed to exercise, because you remember she scolded him for running along the beach. Men don't do that. You didn't see Drogo slip on tennis shoes and go running along the beach. Do. I'm sorry, that just never happened. And it's not something a Dothraki would do. Let alone knights in armor don't go jogging in their armor. It's just not something that was common. And so now he brings attention to himself. He plays this song called Pony, 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 or some Pony, I guess it is. Jump on it and ride it. And for him, it's like a type of dance exercise. And so Missandei was totally shocked. Her mouth drops and put her. He's doing like pelvic thrusts, and of course, Daenerys doing the best she can. Echoes through the palace, and the knights are kind of used to these shenanigans because, again, he's not of this world. They're pretty much used to, this is a weird human. He's got these weird customs, but that's okay. We kind of accept him as long as he makes the queen happy. And then before Daenerys is trying to, a slight grin, eyebrows raised, trying to like ignore this until Missandei finally brings it to her attention. And so at first Daenerys has this big smile because, again, this is so strange and weird that she made Missandei promise not to spy on him, but let me know if anything unusual happens, because they want to keep it to themselves as amusement. Until she describes that she can't understand why there would be a song about jumping on a pony, but yet William's doing pellet thrusts like as if he's mating with somebody, yet nobody's there. So this becomes quite the humor. But she also knows that all eyes are focused on her. How's she going to handle it? So she gets back to a serious mode. I'll handle this. And that's all she says. So she goes to have a little, as we would say on Earth, a queenly fireside chat with this human husband of hers. And this is where William feels really bad after she chews him out somewhat royally. If he was any other man in the world, she probably would have had his head on a spike a long time ago. But because he has a key role of importance to her, she don't do that. So basically, she confiscates the device, and he's warning, you're never to get into my box, just like the stuff on your weird underwear I confiscated that men in my world don't wear. So she does. She confiscates the device, and it'll never be played by William again, because she has control of it, and she's already kind of gotten used to how it turns on and off. Again, if it was like a Star Trek type scenario, William probably would be in trouble for violating their protocols, because he's tainted their world by her learning of even so much as turning something on or off. But because, again, he can't get back to this world, well, the only one he's going to get in trouble with really is Daenerys. She tells him, I'm trying to have this meeting, and here you are, you're making a spectacle of yourself. The music echoes down through the halls. The palace ladies can't concentrate on their servant duties. And usually you're only supposed to do this type of dance for me in my chambers. So she, in a gentle but firm way, and the servants know she means business, she don't need to repeat herself, says there's nothing to see here. They all disperse. They know not to have her repeat herself. Missandei apologizes greatly because she wasn't trying to look at William in such a way that Daenerys would, but this is like, wow, okay, it's like this whole, why is he moving his pelvic like this, doing humping like thrusts, as if somebody's there, but he's not, there's not, and William tries to explain it, just exercise. So he don't get the device anymore, that's confiscated now. And so he feels really bad, but she don't want him to be brooding either. So she kind of, in a gentle way, just says, this is part of a lesson you need to learn. If you're going to be in my world, you got to do what we do. This is not part of our world. Although this thing came with you, I'm taking this, and you're never to get it again. So he accepts that, He has to obey what she commands him. Yeah. So, feeling a little bit reassured that she's not going to totally punish him, what he doesn't know is he's got a punishment coming, but it's going to be much to her pleasure as opposed to him and what's going to happen in her chambers. So, with that having been said, he digs himself an even deeper hole because, again, remember when he was so bold and said, test me, let me drink the golden waters that flow within you, so they flow within me. Well, at first it was a punishment. And then in the motion picture, he asked of this again, and she thought that was strange because men would not do this, drink women's pee. And so she's like, whatever, okay. So she thought it was punishment again that he would do this, but now she's kind of getting accustomed to this. And so she hasn't forgotten the fact that he interrupted her meeting. So he gets punished. She gives him what he wants, but she pins him down, and he pretty much can't do nothing. Because again, she's stronger than this human, and she gets to have her way with him. So it becomes the pleasurable punishment she puts upon him, because she knows he can't do nothing. She could move her legs or arms her way and kill him. Just that simple. But she doesn't choose to do that, because again, he's just treasure. So before she gets to that point of going to her chambers and having her way with him and giving him what he was asking, although that's to her is very strange because it's just not something men would ask for. But she's finding pleasure in this now and starting to get used to this. But there's symbolism behind it because of him asking her of this. It could also be a guarantee that she may eventually become pregnant. She just doesn't know this yet. The men, of course, trying to reassure her with all these smiles on their face. It's hard to have a meeting when all these guys got these big grins looking at you. Like, this was kind of entertaining for them, kind of like teenagers in the classroom. The teachers in there trying to teach these teenagers something, and they all got these big smiles, like, oh, well, this is pretty funny, And they try to assure her, well, we like the fact that he keeps you happy and all this. Not that she needs their reassurance. But she also says in somewhat of a firm way, slightly smiling herself, the way was not off the hook. Because she'll also reaffirm it when Lincoln learns the laws of her kingdom. She can't show favoritism just because he is the husband. Regardless of the fact that he's human. Because she is going to be this great queen. And so they kind of look at each other like, oh, wow. Maybe they're thinking, well, better than him than us, even if he is a human from the southern world, because that means they wouldn't get any special favors either, being the husbands, if they were the ones chosen as the suitor. So they know it's back to business as usual. So it'd be quite the interesting chapter following the prologue.